Hello, welcome to another episode of the Always Be Testing podcast. I'm your host, DeGrange, and I'm super stoked to have Noah Tucker today. What's up, Noah?
How's it going, man? Thanks for having me.
Nice to have you. Nice to see you. How are things in LA?
Things are good. Things are good. I haven't even been in LA too much with all these conventions and conferences going on, but it's nice to be back now.
Rock on. You are not alone. How was Shop Talk?
It was good. It was my first shop talk, and we did like the whole after parties and not going to the main conference kind of deal, which I think was a good move. Those after parties were awesome. Met a lot of cool brands, some existing customers, great agencies. So it was a good time overall.
It's sometimes a very smart strategy. So tip of the cap to you for that. And sometimes some of the best conversations can happen there. Not surprisingly for some in the affiliate industry, I think.
Exactly.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I just want to share with everybody listening that Noah is an awesome guy. He's a rising star in the D2C commerce space. His company, Social Snowball, is taking off and helping e-com brands tap into word of mouth and influencer, and definitely thinking about affiliate marketing in new ways. So I'm really excited to share more and dive in. Noah, is there some other things you want to add about like high level Social Snowball?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, like super high level, we are, like you said, an affiliate and influencer platform for e-commerce brands. So if a brand wanted to partner with influencers or turn their customers into affiliates, we provide the software to find new influencers, track their sales, give them, codes and links, make sure codes don't leak to coupon sites, give them dashboards, automate product seeding and gifting bonuses, send commission payouts, just kind of all of the management that goes into maintaining these affiliate, influencer, and ambassador partnerships.
Heck yeah. What inspired you to start the company?
So before starting to build Social Snowball, I was doing a lot of work on the brand side. So I was doing a lot of like paid media consulting for other brands, building some of my own stores even, and basically just through all this experience, I was using a lot of the existing affiliate and referral tech that existed at the time. And basically, like to make a long story short, I was just super disappointed with what existed. Everything felt very clunky, outdated. Very simple tasks like sending payouts and onboarding influencers and creating tiers was extremely manual and difficult to do. And these things seemed relatively simple. And so that's kind of where the idea stemmed from, was really my own frustration with the existing tools that were out there.
That's awesome. And maybe a good segue. Um, what are some of those things that you really pride yourself on, or you're aiming to be different than some of the other affiliate network platform tech tracking, some of the influencer tracking?
Yeah, great question. So I think like if you look at the overall landscape, when people say the word affiliate, there's really two different types of affiliates. I like to like kind of break them into two subcategories. And a lot of the tech just exists to power one of those two types of affiliates. And so like what I mean by that, I call them like the legacy affiliates, and it's really just like publishers, listicles, review sites, coupon sites, media buyer affiliates. That's like one type of affiliate. And then there's also like a more what I call like the more modern affiliate, which is like influencers, ambassadors, creators, customers. They're both really powerful channels, but they're just super different. And what I realized is a lot of the technology that exists to enable affiliate partnerships, and a lot of what I was using when I was on the brand side, was really just built for this, more traditional legacy affiliate. And if you try to onboard like an ambassador or a creator or your own customer to one of these platforms built for publisher affiliates, it's just a complete disaster of a user experience. And that's kind of what I was
Yeah,
experiencing firsthand when I was
agreed,
thinking to myself, damn, these
agreed.
platforms are super clunky. And so Social Snowball was really like the first affiliate platform for D2C that's just laser focused on enabling partnerships with this newer type of affiliate and making that whole user experience as just frictionless, simple, and intuitive as possible.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Maybe going back to your experience on the brand side, kind of curious about your background and what led you to that point of, obviously you're trying out various solutions. They weren't really meeting your needs. I'd love to hear a little bit more about your background with the brands and kind of what the working experience you've had, kind of leading up to it. Tell
Yeah.
us a little bit about your background.
Sure. I mean, so, with this stuff specifically, like one strategy I'd always help execute, whether it was my own store I was working on or doing consulting, was like an affiliate program. But to me, the word affiliate, I was thinking of like micro creators and customers and just like more like the smaller influencer and ambassadors. And so that's like who I was going after. And I was using like social media and obviously trying to invite customers to join and refer friends. And the only solutions that were out there were either these legacy affiliate platforms like we talked about. There were loyalty based refer a friend programs, which didn't really drive a lot of revenue and were more focused on like retention and LTV. And this was supposed to be like a customer acquisition channel. So that wasn't a good fit. And then there were like all these creator management CRM tools that were less focused on affiliate and driving revenue and more focused on like UGC and tracking content. So those were like the only tools that I was really able to play with. And none of them did exactly what I was looking for, which is like an affiliate platform, but for influencers and creators and ambassadors. And so basically to answer your question, I was just using a lot of these other tools, trying to stitch together something that could basically solve the needs for the brands that I was working with and what I was trying to build. And in order to make it happen, it was basically impossible. I was like using Klaviyo forms and integrating it with Zapier and trying to get some level of automation, but obviously it wasn't smooth and it couldn't do all the functionality that I was looking for. And I'm not technical myself, so I didn't know how to like really build something custom. So that's kind of why I really like felt there was a need for a new product.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Who do you think's kind of that? Well, before I get there, can you share more about like what you mean by a micro creator, or can you share more about like what is an example of that, or kind of what kind of encompasses that for you?
Yeah. I mean, for like a micro influencer, micro creator specifically, like I just mean like not a massive influencer. Like this is not a celebrity partnership. These are just more social media influencers. I mean, when people say micro influencer, they're usually talking in like the 10K to 100K follower range. Um, and so, yeah, so like if you wanted to partner with one of those historically, you'd really have to use one of those other three options, like the creator CRM, the loyalty platform, or the publisher affiliate platform. And none of those really solved for what I was looking for. Um, but yeah, that's what I mean. Just more like your standard social media creator.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I think we're getting a little bit of a lag for some reason. It's weird. I don't know if you how's your speed on your end. I just checked my speed on my end. It looks pretty good.
Um,
I just
it's
closed everything on my MacBook.
Here, I can do the thing.
Strange.
How bad is the lag? Because for me, it's like maybe a couple seconds.
It's
But
okay. It's maybe it's worse on my end. I'm just gonna keep rolling
okay,
and roll with it. I just want to let you know that I'm seeing it on my end, but we should be okay.
okay.
Cool. Um, so that makes sense. So one thought I had was, what are some like what's the ideal customer for Social Snowball?
So we work just with e-commerce brands. So that's really the only requirement. Any e-commerce brand that wants to have influencer or affiliate or referral be an acquisition channel for them, we provide the software to make that possible. So that's kind of the only requirement. We want to stay e-commerce focused because if we start building, affiliate and influencer software for B2B SaaS and agencies and all these other industries, we're going to have a product that's going to be kind of confusing because there's going to be all these different features that different industries need. In e-commerce, everyone kind of needs the same features. So as an e-commerce like operator, if you log into our platform, everything is very familiar, and so we kind of want to be able to keep it that way.
That makes sense. And are you integrated? Like, tell me a little bit more about the other ICP things around the business, right? Or is it Shopify over Magento, or like what are some of the other things that you guys are focused on?
We're Shopify exclusive right now. We won't be that way
Hmm.
forever, but we have been, yeah, up until this point, and probably for the next maybe year, we're going to probably remain Shopify exclusive.
That's what I thought. That's awesome. And then from the brands that are coming to you, of like ones that really have the best outcomes, really resonate with the product, the use case, and the results. Like what types of e-commerce Shopify brands are you seeing just do
Oh
the
man,
best or be like the best fit for you guys?
literally all kinds. I mean, I wish I could have say like, oh, fashion works the best, or cosmetics works the best, but it's really all different kinds. I mean, we've had the most random products, random brands do incredibly well, because what I've learned is that there's always an influencer in every niche, or even if there's not many, there's always customers that will refer their friends because their friends are into similar
Hmm.
products. So I wish I had a good answer for you, but there's honestly no like
Yeah.
specific niche or vertical that like drastically outperforms.
Yeah, that makes sense. But it's good. There's a pretty healthy market there, and certainly an opportunity. I think a big interesting thing about social snowball and what you've shared, and I started kind of sharing this and referencing you quite a bit, is around just the value and the reminder of like tapping into your existing customer base.
Yeah.
It's something that I think people just weren't really thinking of effectively, and I think the world has certainly changed and enabled that. What's a good framework, or have you seen a percentage of existing customers that are willing to be some form of creator or influencer for brands? And like, what's like the best of the best? What's like medium? Like, can you give us some kind of sense of like what's good?
100%. 100%. So I think like for us, the North Star metric that we're using to measure success with a customer affiliate program is referral revenue as a percentage of GMV. What percentage of your total revenue is coming from customers driving referrals? So for us, a high performing program is anything 5% or higher. So 5% or more of your GMV is coming from customer referrals. That is a high performing program. To answer your question though, like the best that we've seen, I mean, we have some brands that are doing it, and this is consistently, this isn't like one good month, like 10% of GMV coming from customer referrals. Now, obviously, those brands, one, are very shareable products that have a passionate customer base, but there also are a lot of strategies that go into getting that level of activation out of your customer base. It isn't just the product. There are strategies that these brands have implemented that we've learned a lot from watching these brands execute different strategies. So we've helped newer brands that are launching now execute similar strategies that allow them to get those higher percentages of GMV coming from referrals.
Interesting. And we've talked a lot recently about like TikTok, and for a ton of reasons, right? Like, I'm curious to know. Um, I've been talking a lot about how it's almost built up like its own influencer or affiliate network. Um, what are you seeing there as it relates to Social Snowball? How much of the contribution are you seeing from TikTok? How much of it is TikTok driven?
Great question. I would say it's still mostly like as far as influencers, it's still more Instagram than TikTok. But we have seen some brands execute some really cool strategies on TikTok that are just not super popular yet, but I think they will be, and they're
Hmm.
really meaningful. So it's not that TikTok as a channel doesn't perform as well. I think most brands just haven't really given it a great try or haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah,
But yeah, I would still say like maybe 70-30, most like 70 being Instagram, TikTok being 30. But TikTok is growing, and like the brands that have done it well are really crushing it, because once you figure it out, there's not as many brands doing it, and there's like a huge opportunity there.
yeah. No, that makes sense. What are are there others outside of those two that you're seeing creators leverage?
I mean, there are, but those would definitely be the biggest two, at least for the brands we're working with. I mean, of course, there's like YouTube, and then there's like Twitch, and the streaming channels, but nothing has really come close to Instagram and TikTok. That is definitely where like the overwhelming majority of influencer marketing is happening for e-commerce.
Yeah, and similar to that within Instagram, where we're seeing most of the activity. How much of that is kind of getting um, into the shops, realm where that product is really being leveraged and their shop feature is being leveraged.
The TikTok shop, you're saying?
Instagram's kind of answer to that. I can't recall the exact name. I think it's their shops like product.
Oh, I would say it's a super small portion. Honestly, I don't think Instagram shops. I think they're rebuilding it though. I mean, I'd imagine they are because of how big TikTok Shop has gotten. But yeah, the Instagram shops functionality, I never really hear about it. Honestly, like it's definitely not catching
Yeah,
on even
it
close to the
it's not
level.
taking on as much market share. I think there's been a lot of talk of like how how much is it going to grow. I think there's some activity on it, but I don't think it doesn't surprise me that it doesn't make up a lot. That's interesting. Okay, very cool. Um, what are you kind of like thinking about in terms of social snowballs? You know, challenges or growth that you guys are trying to solve, improve? What's the future look like for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, so when we launched, our product was very simple. It was just a better functionality for turning customers into affiliates. Like we had that whole feature where, and we still have, where you could turn customers into affiliates automatically, generate them a code and link on the thank you page and in the post purchase emails, and that was awesome. We also had like a much smoother payout experience for affiliates. Those are like the two big challenges we wanted to face. Since then, the product has become, obviously much more mature, and we have a ton of new functionality. And now we solve for, codes leaking to coupon sites, and we do influencer seeding and gifting. To answer your question though, as far as like where we're taking it, we definitely see Social Snowball becoming the kind of all-in-one, one-stop shop influencer and affiliate platform for e-commerce. And there's a lot more to that than just a really great affiliate tracking and payment and gifting platform. That's a huge piece of it, and in my opinion, the most important part. But there's more to it, right? If we want to be the all-in-one platform, we need new things. So to give you an example, we're very close to releasing our influencer discovery and sourcing product. We already have like 20-30 brands in the beta, and it's going really well. And we have a way to help brands find really relevant brand fit influencers at scale and then contact them. And that's like a huge, piece of the puzzle for a successful influencer affiliate program, is obviously finding and contacting new influencers at scale. So that's really exciting. And then of course there's, if there's going to be, UGC gamification, and there's a lot more that we need to add to the platform eventually, whether that's stuff we build ourselves or by integrating with partners in order to really be that one-stop shop. But yeah, that's the direction that we want to take it.
That's awesome. And are you guys doing any kind of like integration right now with data providers like, you know, Data Studio or anything? Are you making it easy for folks to like get reporting out of it, or how do folks typically kind of ingest reporting and data and results from Social Snowball?
Yeah, I mean, so we have like a ton of in-platform reporting for attribution and, link clicks and just all the important affiliate metrics. You could also export the data, and we're also working on like native integrations with other like data platforms like Triple Whale and those kinds of things.
That's awesome. Very cool. And then like for folks that are maybe a little newer to influencer and might have some, concerns, particularly like on the tracking side, right? I think there's some real and perceived uh, concerns, fears of like, okay, how does this track? We've seen
Yeah.
issues in tracking. How do you kind of assuage those concerns, and how do you guys make sure tracking's accurate and working?
Yeah, this is a really good question. So the truth is, it will never be perfect, right? The tracking will never be 100% perfect, and that's just the way the internet is right
Yeah.
now. Who knows what it'll be in 10 years, but right now it won't be perfect. Influencer attribution won't be
Yep.
perfect. But we could get pretty close. And so obviously, the standard ways to track sales are through UTMs and cookies, as well as like coupon code usage. The thing that's great about coupon code usage is that when an influencer is posting with a code, the customer has an incentive to use that code, and that code is the attribution method. So the customer has an incentive to attribute the sale to the influencer, which is obviously awesome. But the problem is like those codes could get picked up by Honey or other coupon sites, and then attribution becomes extremely inaccurate, which is like defeats the whole purpose. If you wanted to use codes for more accurate attribution, and now it's over attributing because the code got picked up by Honey. So what we offer is a product called Safe Links, which is a little bit of the best of both worlds. And safe links are a coupon code alternative, is how I like to explain it. It essentially allows affiliates to share a discount with their audience without the risk of a code getting picked up by a coupon site. So how it works is, affiliates will share this link instead of a code. It looks just like a normal affiliate link. You could customize it like a normal affiliate link. But how it works is whenever a shopper clicks on that code and gets taken to the storefront, in real time, a unique single-use code from Shopify will be generated from the Shopify backend and given to the shopper to use during their shopping session. So if I'm an influencer and I post like, use my link, whatever, to get a discount, and Ty, you click on my link, when you get taken to the store, you'll have a unique single-use code generated for you in real time. The next person who clicks on the same link will have a different single-use code generated for them. So me as like the influencer, I still have a mechanism I could share with my audience that passes along a discount. But if any of these codes that are generated for each customer get picked up by Honey or Capital One Shopping or Retail Me Not or any of these coupon sites or extensions, it doesn't matter because they're all single-use codes, so they're valueless to these coupon sites. So that's been like the widest attribution net that we've been able to offer that doesn't actually over attribute as well, because you're still incentivizing with the coupon, with the discount, right? You're still tracking via cookies and UTMs because there's a link click, and the codes are they're honey proof, so there's no risk there. So that's
Right
been
on.
like the strongest attribution solution we've came up with so far.
Love it. That's sweet, Noah. Very cool. Let's switch gears a little bit here as we go down the home stretch. So, what's the sliding door moment in your career? What's the moment where you kind of could have gone one direction, one another, worked out well, lessons learned,
That's a good question. I
maybe
mean,
it
I
didn't
guess
work out
there's
well?
probably been multiple, but I was originally in college for environmental science, which is just something I've always been interested in. And then this is kind of when I was starting to get more involved in the e-commerce space and was getting into media buying and all of the other things we talked about before. And at some point I made a decision to drop out and fully pursue that. So that obviously was a big decision. And that was probably the biggest sliding door. I'd say there's probably many
Yeah,
ones like, all the time, but that was like,
yeah,
totally changed the trajectory of my entire life.
that's so cool. So, what was it about ecom that captured your imagination and got you excited and just hooked on it?
I think it was just fun. Like it was literally when I was like just graduating high school that I first learned about it and first like tried to build a store and just like got sucked into that world. And I never really understood that I could fully control something like this. Like I've always, I was working a bunch of jobs, like, this is like late high school. So it was like kitchen jobs and, fishing boats. This is the kind of stuff I was working on. And
Hmm.
like in my head, I was like, oh, this is just how the world works. Like you do a job and you make money. And then when someone showed me, it was a friend that showed me like, oh, you could build your own store and like sell your own products and fully control everything and run emails and ads and make an Instagram account. And like it was just exhilarating. Like I was just like, this is the coolest thing ever. I didn't even know I was allowed to do this, but like I need to
Yeah,
try. I mean, I just got addicted. Like it was just the most addicting feeling
yeah,
in the world.
that's awesome. That's such a great answer and totally feel you there. That's amazing. Are there any books or resources or media that just kind of made a really strong impression on you or made you kind of change your thinking on a topic?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say like, building a software as a service startup without having previous SaaS experience, there was a lot of learning curves that I had to go through. And one book that really helped me understand just like a lot of the fundamentals of how SaaS businesses grow, is called From Impossible to Inevitable. It's very B2B SaaS focused, and it really is just a lot of like standard principles about building sales teams and customer success and all these like how bigger companies have built these organizations before. So that definitely helped a lot in my career, I think.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Any fun personal or work or exciting things that you're looking forward to in 2024?
um Hopefully doing a bit of travel again. I usually travel a lot. It's like a ton of fun for me, and it's also, in my opinion, one of the greatest things about working in the digital age, like owning a remote company, is being able to travel. But there's been a
Yep,
lot of events that I've been going to within the United States, so I haven't been able to get out much. But hopefully next year I'll be able to continue on that the traveling journeys while working, because that's a ton of fun for me.
that's awesome. What's your favorite trip been so far?
Last year, me and a group of friends who also are working online, we spent some time in Indonesia. We went to Bali for a couple months, and then we went to Lombok, which is like a lesser known Indonesian island next to Bali, for a month, and that was just so much fun. The only thing that sucked was working. I mean, my whole team is EST, and I told myself like if I'm going to Asia, like the one deal I have to make is that I will not sacrifice any amount of work, because if so, then it's not worth it for me. And so what that turned into is basically being fully nocturnal and working until 5 a.m., which was fine for the first month. But then after the second and third, I was like actually really, it was affecting my health. And I was like, I need a break from this. But yeah, that was the only downside. Besides that, it was great.
Yeah, I completely hear you. It makes sense. Um, any recent purchase that you just can't live without or rave
Yes.
about to the audience?
Yes. And this is a like, not everyone will agree with me on this, but these honestly have been great.
Oh,
I
yes.
I love these, and I actually genuinely, not even as a joke, use this for work. And it's great because I could have like my monitor set up and I could have that anywhere, and it's been like super game changing, because for me I work really great on a big monitor and I don't work really well on a little laptop. and I travel all the time, so I don't always have my monitor with me that I'm using right now for this call. So being able to be on in an airplane or at a hotel or even sitting outside catching the sun rays while having a huge monitor setup has been like really awesome for me. So it gets a lot of mixed reviews, but for me, for deep work while traveling, it's been game changing.
That's really cool. You might be becoming an influencer in your own right, and I think that's a great product to be sharing. I love that
I
update,
need my
man.
affiliate link from Apple. I think I've referred to Apple already.
I might have to talk to you about that offline. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Anything else that folks maybe don't know about you that you want to share with the audience that are maybe interesting or things that people might not know?
Oh man. Um, nothing really. I mean, I used to do a lot of other activities. Now my life is just influencer and affiliate marketing. I mean, I love,
Eat, sleep,
fishing.
drink
I
it.
love outdoors. Huh? What's that?
Eat, sleep, drink. Affiliate
Exactly.
influencer.
That's kind of my life right now. It's a little bit less exciting, but got to do what you got to do.
You've done some fishing trips. What's a good one that you've done?
Yeah, I mean, I've gone bluefin tuna fishing a couple times, which is not only so much fun because they're huge and just like crazy fish to catch, but that's also like my favorite food ever is tuna
Yeah,
sushi. So being
it's
able to eat
amazing.
it when it was also swimming the same day and you caught it and then you just make sushi right then and there is so much fun.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I have to add that to my bucket list as a reminder. Any other big trips, and maybe bucket list trips for you that you mentioned travel?
I really want to go to Japan.
Mm,
I that's super high on my list. I've been to Southeast Asia a few times, but I haven't made it like up to Japan. Um, so that's like very, very high on my list. I'm just like fascinated by that place, and also, as you probably can tell, I'm a huge sushi fan. So I need to see what it's all
yeah,
about.
no doubt. That's awesome. Yeah, there's some good spots here in Austin that we recommend. So when you get down here, we'll have to give you some suggestions. It's
Please do.
surprisingly good.
Please do.
And Heck yeah, no, this has been awesome. I'm so grateful for your time and stoked about what you're building with Social Snowball. Obviously, we're talking about some exciting things to do with you guys and integrate. And yeah, what any other things that you want to share? Is there folk where can folks find you to if they want to reach out and learn more about how to get integrated?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the best places to contact me would be Twitter or LinkedIn. I'm decently active on both. My Twitter is Noatuck, and my LinkedIn just search Noah Tucker, and I'm sure you'll find it.
Amazing. Always a pleasure, man. Thank you so much for all the insights and learnings and lot more testing to do, but appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Noah.